Alright you guys, a couple of you have been asking for me to do a cooking video, so tonight's my night to cook. I'm going to be making a turkey meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and some corn. The recipe that I'm going to be doing for you guys though is just the turkey meatloaf. I'm just going to be making basic mashed potatoes, you know, milk, butter, salt, pepper, and just some frozen corn that I got. I'm just going to put a little bit of butter, salt, and pepper. But turkey meatloaf is a recipe that I really wanted to do for you guys, so let me go ahead and run down the ingredients. Alright you guys, most importantly we need some ground turkey. Now I got the 93% lean. This was pretty pricey. This is the 3-pound and it was about $10.50 at the store. But I am going to be making a really big meatloaf. So that's the meat I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using I'm probably just going to be using a half of stick of butter. I was going to use the whole thing, but since I have this cut, I'll be using a half a stick of butter. That's unsalted. Now the veggies that are going to be going into the meatloaf are a red bell pepper, some carrots. These are just some leftover snacking carrots we had in the fridge. Just going to chop them up, that's plenty. Yellow onion, celery, and occasionally I will throw a potato in there, but not today. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. So that's the 4 veggies: carrots, bell pepper, onion, and celery. Now, I am going to be using, normally I like to crack an egg or 2 in the meatloaf, but we don't have any. I just went to the store and totally forgot. So I do have some of these in the fridge. They're egg beaters. And I was looking at the ingredients. They're basically just egg whites with some like xanthan gum in it. So I'm going to throw a splash of that in there. Hopefully that'll do it. I'm also going to be using a couple of slices of white bread that I'm going to be soaking in some whole milk. So white bread, 2 slices of white bread, whole milk, and I need ketchup, soy sauce. You can also use Worcestershire, which is really important. We just don't have any. I'm going to check my cabinets one more time. We should, but if we do, I really want to throw some Worcestershire in there too. That's like a classic meatloaf ingredient. But I'm going to be doing soy sauce and some A1 sauce and ketchup, and of course salt, pepper, garlic powder, and I think that's it. So that's my ingredients rundown. I'm going to get a big pan out, the biggest one I have, and start sauteing everything up. So that is my ingredients rundown. Now I'm just going to start chopping everything up. I'm going to chop it up as small as I can, just in little tiny dices. Especially like the carrots and all my veggies have to be really tiny so that they cook. I like to saute all my vegetables first and take the rawness off of them before I put them, combine them with my meat. I don't like to just throw raw veggies inside the meat because they don't really cook that well. So yeah guys, let me go ahead and clear the decks, and then I'm going to start chopping everything. Most importantly, wash your hands. This is some soap that I got from couponing. I've been washing my hands like 5-6 times a day because of the whole coronavirus thing. So it's kind of good. It's getting me in the habit of washing my hands a lot more than usual. So make sure you have your hands washed, and if you're a woman, have your hair up, just so you don't get any hair in the food. I work in a kitchen at school. My job is working in a kitchen, so we usually always have either our hats on or hairnets, stuff like that. So make sure you have clean hands and your hair's out of the way. Okay guys, I'm not going to be using this whole pack of celery. Just about, I'll say 3 celery stalks. You could also just pick the really tender stuff in the middle, but I'm going to be using the big stalks, just 3 of them, and then we can have the celery in the fridge just to snack on later. Definitely going to be using this whole bell pepper and about half of this yellow onion. I'm not a huge fan of onion, but everyone in my house likes it. You can also throw in some fresh garlic. Again, we're not really big garlic people. Well, I'm not, and I'm making it, so I'm kind of making it the way I like it. But you can throw in some fresh garlic, a couple cloves, just dice it up. I'm going to use garlic powder because I like more of a mild garlic flavor. So, yeah guys. Just get rid of the ends like this. And then just do a small dice. Real easy. Cut it in half and then just do little strips. You really want your stuff to be small. Like, you don't want big chunks of veggies in there. It wouldn't look right. And the main star is the meat, so the veggies is just kind of like, you know, a good background flavor. So just a little dice. I'm not loving this knife. Just like that, you guys. Really small. Okay, so I'm going to do that with the celery, the bell pepper, and the onion, and then I will see you guys at the stove so we can saute all of this stuff up with some butter. Okay, you guys, everything's chopped up. I have my carrots, bell pepper, onion. I decided to do garlic clove after all. I was just going to do the powder, but I just chopped up 2 garlic cloves. You could do more if you guys really love garlic, but me not so much. And then I have some celery, so that's everything chopped up. Now you're going to need a really big pan, and I'm going to go ahead and start melting my butter. Put about a medium flame, maybe a little less. Then I'm going to throw in a half a stick of butter. Hard to do this with one hand. Alright. So once your butter is completely melted, I'm going to go ahead and throw in our veggies. Saute them. You don't want to cook them fully. You just want to cook them until they're not so crunchy. They're still going to be a little bit raw, but that's okay. They're going to finish cooking in the oven. But you just want to take like the raw crunch off of them. Okay, and if you don't have butter, you can definitely use olive oil. The reason why I use so much is because the ground turkey has like no fat really. So butter or olive oil is a really good choice. And if you don't have either one of those, just throw a little bit of vegetable oil, canola oil, just whatever you guys have. Or even margarine. I didn't even know we had this butter. I was going to use some, I can't believe it's not butter, but we actually had the real thing, so I'm using the real thing. Okay, so butter's completely melted. I'm going to throw in the garlic first. Now, you want to make sure that you don't burn your garlic. You just want to cook your garlic for about a minute, just to start releasing the oils in the garlic. But definitely do not want to burn it, because you still have to cook all these other vegetables, so the garlic's going to be in there for quite a while. So you know what, I'm actually going to just go ahead and throw everything else in. So we have celery, onions, bell pepper, and our carrots. Okay, now you're going to want to saute these, like I said, until they are about halfway cooked. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. We're going to be adding salt and pepper pretty much on every step, just to season with every layer. So get the salt. Just about a half a teaspoon. We'll start with that. And then pepper. I like a lot of pepper. Okay. Salt. And that's it, you guys. I'm just going to keep watching over this. And should probably take about 5 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. Okay guys, this has been cooking for about 3 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of soy sauce. That makes it smell really good. We are almost there. I'm also going to go ahead and add a few dry seasonings. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of lemon pepper. Same thing, teaspoon for onion pepper. This is actually garlic, so about a teaspoon of garlic pepper. Okay. And the same thing for onion powder. I said garlic pepper, garlic powder, sorry. Actually, you know what? I think we're all out of onion powder, so that's it. Just added some lemon pepper and some garlic powder. Okay guys, it's been about 5 minutes now. At this point, I'm going to be adding my ketchup, but if you're not a huge ketchup lover, you can add a heaping tablespoon of tomato paste. I'm going to add the ketchup just because I love ketchup and that's what we have. I'm going to add a good squirt of that. And at this point, I'm going to turn off the flame because it's been 5 minutes and that's about all this needs to cook. Mix in your ketchup. We are also still going to be adding a little bit of ketchup into our meat mixture, but I wanted to add some into my vegetables as well. Like I said, we're just going to be seasoning every layer. Okay. That's how you want your vegetables to look. And these are done. Just going to sit them there, let them cool off a little bit, and we can get started on our meat. Okay, well, our vegetables are cooling down. I have 2 pieces of white bread. It could be fresh, it could be stale, it doesn't matter. And I have some milk here, preferably whole milk, but I have 2%. Just going to put about a 1/4 cup of milk, just like that. It's going to be a little squishy, but I'm going to submerge the bread in the milk. Now, you have a couple options. You can do it the way I'm doing it, or we also use Ritz crackers sometimes. We'll just crush Ritz crackers into the meat and put a splash of milk in the meat, but we have no crackers at all, so I'm doing it this way today. So 2 slices of bread with about a 1/4 cup of milk, just letting it soak in, and this is going to go into our meat mixture. And the reason why we do that is because it keeps the meat very moist. Now, you're going to want to use 1 to 2 eggs. It just depends how much meat you're using. Since I have a 3 pounds of ground turkey, I would use 2 eggs. If you have just like a pound and a half, just use 1 egg. Since we don't have any eggs, I'm going to go ahead and use the egg beaters, but I'll show you that when we get there. Okay, so I went ahead and transferred my turkey meat to a big bowl. Now I'm going to be adding about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of salt. Not that much. And this is sea salt. Oop. I'm going to sprinkle that all around, but it just went in one little area. Okay. Actually, I'll put a little bit more. Okay. And pepper. I said I like a lot of pepper, so I'm going to go heavy. You could also throw in some red pepper flakes if you want. Okay, and now you're going to throw in your bread with your milk. Just like that. And you would want to throw in a little bit more soy sauce, about another tablespoon, but we are all out. And this is the time where you'd want to throw in about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. All out of that as well, but I'm going to substitute it for A1. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. Okay, we'll start with that. Also gonna throw in a big squirt of ketchup. Okay, that was about 2 tablespoons of A1, 2 tablespoons of ketchup. Like I said, Worcestershire and soy sauce, add those as well if you have them. I'm gonna throw in a splash of my egg beaters. Okay, that should be good. That's equivalent to about an egg, 1 to 2 eggs. And then I'm gonna grab my mixture. It's pretty cooled down. It's still warm to the touch, but it's not hot. You don't want it hot. You don't want to throw in like really hot stuff into raw meat. Just gonna add this stuff into the meat.
It's entirely my fault, but my duties as chair have been my scandals. Please help me press. I need to be centered on my research right now, and I cannot do that here. Castro needs to go somewhere where she can be more vigilant about that process. It's an important trial. People will be watching.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more of the garlic powder and a little bit more of the lemon pepper.
She's right.
Okay. I'm throwing actually a little bit more salt because this is a lot of meat. Alright. Clean hands. Start mixing.
You will. Why don't you just tell me the truth about your cooking? You thought you just said out the truth. Then you.
Ugh. Okay, that is mixed well. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands and then show you the pan I'm going to put it on. Now if you guys have loaf pans, you can put them in loaf pans. This is probably about 2 loaf pans worth of meat. I'm just going to do a free-form loaf on a sheet pan, so I'm going to wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, you can use a sheet pan, just cover it with foil, or you can use a glass pan. What I'm going to do is the glass. I'm just going to form a meatloaf in here, cover it with ketchup, put it into a 350-degree oven. Okay, so that's what the loaf looks like.
For years, he's refused to work at Union for a reason. He's wanted to separate himself from his father and everything he stood for. He doesn't want to...
Okay. Okay guys, that was 45 minutes. Now, this is what it looks like. Close, but not quite there. If you guys did a smaller meatloaf, then yours might be done. But I totally forgot, this is a 3-pound meatloaf. So, I'm gonna do another 20 minutes and then go from there. You want the meatloaf to have a nice golden brown coating, like a crust around the outside. The drippings around it will look real nice and crusty. It still looks pretty raw. That's why I'm doing 20 more minutes. That might be it. And if it's not, then I'll go from there. And I have some corn. Boiling some potatoes for mashed potatoes. Okay, you guys, just pulled it out. It took about an hour and 20 minutes.